Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
We begin tonight with a Code Red weather alert for storms that could impact parts of our viewing area.
Fox 17 Code Red Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan tracking the system for us right now, timing it out.
Yeah, this one coming in tomorrow night and will be mainly between the hours of 6 p.m. to about 2 a.m. in the morning. So unfortunately, we're talking about an evening event here. One we do want to stay aware of as we head through Thursday night, northwest to southeast. Wind and hail will be the primary concerns here. Cannot completely rule out a spin-up tornado. I think that threat is going to be greatest in our northwest counties, more into southern Kentucky. As we take a look here at the forecast for tomorrow, this is our severe weather outlook. We're right now looking at level 3 out of 5 threat for Hopkinsville and Clarksville. So again, the highest threat to our north and west, and then we'll see a level 2 threat through Nashville with a level 1 threat as we head toward the Cumberland Plateau and really everywhere east of I-65. Right now things are quiet on Broadway. A few folks out and about, and temperatures are comfortable right now, sitting in the low 70s with a mainly clear sky. Radar is quiet for us as well, and we'll stay that way as we head through the evening hours. No concern for thunderstorms tonight. We stay mild in the 60s. We'll talk more about timing out these storms for Thursday coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. New tonight, chaos as hundreds of people take over Charlotte Avenue outside the state capitol late this afternoon. Inside, lawmakers were set to vote on a state budget and pass a couple of controversial bills. But tonight's House session was abruptly canceled before it started. Hundreds chanting and carrying signs outside the Capitol in the waning days of the legislative session. Their motivations are varied. The common thread is feeling unseen by the Republicans who control both houses.
They think because they have the power to outspend us, that we won't come up against them. But say it with me, y'all, when we organize.
Some are upset about a bill a vote away from passage that would allow Tennessee teachers to be armed in the classroom. But there are other grievances.
Let's vote in people who are for common sense gun safety laws. Let's vote in people who support reproductive rights.
Katrina Green is an emergency room doctor who says the state's refusal to expand Medicaid is literally killing people. Others lament bills they say unfairly target the LGBTQ community.
We shut down their session. Congratulations. This is what happens when we come together.
Some believe the protest prompted GOP leaders to pull the plug on tonight's full House session. The official word is the Finance Committee, which is handling a number of critical budget bills, ran long.
The biggest concern for us right now is why things are getting moved around, whether it is because the budget is running long or if there's other things at play.
What do we want when we don't get it?
Now, one thing that is still very much in play and up in the air is the school voucher bill. Still no consensus on a single plan. The House is meeting every day this week trying to finish its work.
So we really didn't have any real protections.
In the high cost of homelessness, Tennessee lawmakers working to close loopholes, making it harder for squatters to take over someone else's property in the volunteer state. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker has more on the issue.
Currently, it could take up to 2 years to remove a squatter here in Tennessee. But when this new law goes into effect on July 1st, the Sheriff Department can expedite the removal process in just 72 hours.
Fox 17 News has been reporting on squatting situations for years now.
Are you a squatter?
As far as 6 years back, we told you about the man living rent-free in a foreclosed home in Mount Juliet. And community advocate Brittany McCann, who's been documenting squatting situations in vacant lots for over a year now, says people are also taking over homes in her neighborhood.
People find properties that developers have bought or are about to be renovated or torn down, and they move in.
State Representative Tim Rudd says currently property owners must begin a judicial eviction when they encounter squatters in their home.
They enter your property, change the locks, You try to get them out. The sheriff, they then claim that you leased it to them. They own it now. The sheriff can't make that, or the police can't make that decision there at the house. So it becomes a civil matter where you have to take them to court.
Local attorney Ben Rabin says there's a very heavily regulated set of rules to protect both legitimate landlords and legitimate tenants. And when there's a dispute between the two, there needs to be a proceeding.
But the problem is that you've got these squatters that basically show up at somebody's house that have absolutely no lawful way to be there. And because there's nothing previous in the law to account for that, then those people try to exploit the system of all these protections.
Rabin says the squatters sit there while the case is tied up in court. But with a new bill, it will remove a lot of the burden from the property owners, allowing law enforcement to restore possession within hours.
They literally will go there and tell them to leave. If they refuse to leave, they can be arrested and charged with a crime.
Rabin says the language of the bill only protects residential properties, not commercial buildings.
Now, Rudd tells me after hearing from other legislators, he learned that this is a problem in many Tennessee cities. But he wanted to get this done a lot more quickly after he learned that Florida, Alabama, and Georgia are all passing similar legislation. Now, because of that, he wanted to get ahead of the game in case those squatters ended up making their way into Tennessee. For now, reporting from the Capitol, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Coda station.
Well, continuing the high cost of homelessness, we're diving deeper into current Tennessee law when it comes to squatters. Joining us now is attorney Tracy Wooden of the Wooden Law Firm. Tracy, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So why can't a homeowner just confront squatters, forcing them to leave? It's their property.
It's because of statutory and case law in Tennessee, which requires that a homeowner not engage in self-help, but instead have to approach the courts, basically to file a lawsuit to have someone evicted.
Well, I think it's pretty well known, too, that lawsuits going through the judicial system, it's not exactly expedited. It can be delayed and it takes time. So homeowners might be frustrated over that. What type of trouble could you get in if you do end up taking matters into your own hands?
Well, currently, before this House Bill 1259, you could get in trouble. The law prohibits you going in and trying to remove a tenant, or a squatter in this case, without accessing the court. So you can get into a lot of trouble, and if you do it the right way, before this House bill, it does take time. It is expensive, and I think that's what this House bill is designed to help improve.
Well, that House bill did pass. We have learned it did pass today. So what does this now mean? How does this change the landscape for homeowners and essentially protect their rights to their property?
Well, it is a brand new law, as you state, but essentially it allows the homeowner to approach the sheriff, to ask the sheriff to remove the squatter. And the law requires that the homeowner prove a list of things that, of course, the homeowner owns the property, that the person on the premises, the squatter, has no rights to be there, that indeed the property is not open to the public, and that the homeowner has asked the squatter to leave and they haven't left. A series of things to make sure that the complaint brought by the property owner is indeed legitimate, but then allows the sheriff to take action.
And once that burden of proof is met, how long until someone can realistically see the sheriff remove someone who shouldn't be there?
72 hours. There's a 72-hour provision in the bill.
All right, good to know. Attorney Tracy Wooden, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And we want to know what you think. Are you satisfied with Tennessee's plan to crack down on squatters? This poll is live right now. We've had a little over 200 people weighing in, and 78.1% of respondents say yes, they're satisfied with Tennessee's plan to crack down on squatters, compared to 21.9% that say no. You can cast your vote. This poll is still live. Scan the QR code right there on your screen. It will take you to our X page, and we'll show you updated poll results tonight at 10.
In Operation Crime and Justice, a bill making it easier for Tennessee police departments to take suspects who violate conditions of their bail off the streets. Right now in the volunteer state, if you make bail after being charged with a crime, a judge often sets conditions. They can include things like not carrying a gun while awaiting trial, regular school attendance, staying away from a victim. But there's not much of a penalty for not doing what you agreed to.
Currently, what we have is that when violations of bail occur, the judge will not hear those bail violations until sometimes weeks or even a month or more later. Even then, Mr. Speaker, it is treated as a contempt of court.
The bill, which was approved by the state Senate today, the full Senate, makes violating bail a Class A misdemeanor. Police could arrest you on the spot, take you to jail, where you would be held until you face the judge again.
They are definitely here.
So give U.S. Pest a call today and let us start protecting what matters most.
Your family.
That's right, U.S. Pest.
One local gymnast made history this weekend, becoming the first historically black college university gymnast to win a national title. Fisk student athlete Morgan Price officially etching her name in gymnastics history, and she joins us now on the show. Morgan, it's certainly been an exciting week for you. You win the all-around title in the Women's Collegiate Gymnastics Nationals this past weekend. How would you describe what that moment was like, not only winning the national title for your school, but being the first HBCU gymnast to do so?
First I just want to say thank you for having me, and thank you for congratulating me, but it felt truly amazing. I know that last year when I went to nationals, I didn't really perform how I wanted to, so the off season and the preseason I worked super hard to just get to this moment, and I know that like all my hard work had paid off. I was super excited, just proud of myself, and I was glad that my teammates and my family and my coaches were there, like supporting me in that moment.
A lot of hard work for you and also your university. This title significant because it was just 2 years ago that Fisk first announced that it would field a gymnastics team, the first HBCU to do so. How much pride do you take in representing not just your school, Morgan, but also HBCUs across the entire country?
Yes, I take very much pride in being a part of the first ever HBCU gymnastics team. I take very much pride in being the first HBCU gymnast to win the all-around national title. I feel like it's just so amazing that my teammates and I, my coaches, were just making history and paving a way for the other HBCUs and other athletes so that they can have more HBCU gymnastics teams collegiately, and so that other young athletes choose to go to HBCUs and put them on the map.
A lot of firsts for you in the program. Then the next question would be, Morgan, what's next for you and Fisk Gymnastics?
So season is over now, so I'll be back for my junior and senior year. I hope to just work hard again and win hopefully 2 more national titles. And then after my college career, I really want to be an HBCU head gymnastics coach, so I will work towards that goal after I finish.
That's awesome. We're excited to continue to see you and everyone else in the gymnastics program continue to grow and cheer you guys on. Again, congratulations, Morgan Price, the first HBCU gymnast to win an all-around title. Thanks again for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
All right, very cool. Our congratulations as well. And back to the weather. It's not going to be nice tomorrow.
Yeah, it ended up being nice today. We'll kind of talk too later on about why we didn't see showers and storms today.
Are you going to get into the science?
I'm going to get into the science a little bit. I love it when I can get into the science.
I knew that was coming.
Yes. But yeah, tomorrow we are tracking the potential for some strong thunderstorms here. And again, it's always possible that our severe weather chance is not as great as what we expect. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's a little more than what we can expect. So that's the imperfections of science for you. So again, we are going to talk about what we do expect going into tomorrow, and it does include the potential for some stronger thunderstorms, especially just to our west. So we take a look here at tomorrow. Our main threat is going to be wind. Along with that, there are some indications that we could find a few storms with some large hail. And the tornado threat, it's not zero, but I don't think it's going to be our main concern for tomorrow, as this line is expected to weaken once it gets into Middle Tennessee. The tornado threat will likely be a little bit more just to our north and to our west. More in this bullseye that you see here in southern Illinois, the Boot Heel of Missouri into portions of West Tennessee. We're right on the edge of that, though, so I think it still is possible, especially in our northwest counties. But we zoom in here and you can see that we have all three colors in portions of Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky. What I really want you to take home tonight is the fact that the greatest threat for severe weather tomorrow evening will be north and west of Nashville in our western counties and really just west of I-65. As the line moves in, I expect that line to weaken considerably. So we take you through Thursday afternoon, mainly dry. We'll look at showers possible as early as 3 p.m. These are going to be pretty isolated in nature. The line not expected until after 6 p.m. And temperatures here will top off in those mid-80s for the day. So pretty warm afternoon. As we take you through future track tonight into tomorrow morning, bus stop forecast looking A-OK. As we head into the afternoon hours, early afternoon, we're still looking good. Now, this is the latest one from Future Track, and what I'm starting to see is a trend of showers and a few thunderstorms popping up ahead of the main line. Generally, these will likely not be severe. They should be just below severe limits. There'll be ones we'll watch, of course, but I think the bigger severe threat will still be a little bit later in the evening. The big question for me is going to be how much activity we see early on. If we end up seeing more widespread showers and a few thunderstorms here earlier in the evening, it may actually help limit our severe weather threat as we go later in the night. So here's 5 p.m. We're still looking at a pretty decent cluster of showers and a few thunderstorms. Here comes the main line then. So this is 7 p.m. and notice early on it looks pretty intense. So the greatest threat is going to be to our north and to our west. Damaging wind here, very indicative of this little bowing effect that we have on our future track. So that would be winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Then we get a little bit later, 9 p.m. approaching the Nashville metro area. At this point, I still think we could find wind, maybe some hail. The tornado threat, it's becoming zero at this point, but not quite zero. And then as we get east of I-65, I don't think tornadoes are really going to be an issue for us anymore. This is 10 p.m. Becomes more of a heavy rain, some wind also possible around midnight as we head east toward the Cumberland Plateau, and then just after midnight, we won't need to worry about storms very much anymore. A little bit of rain very early in the morning on Friday, and then we get into Friday afternoon. It's looking like things should begin to dry out for us. So the bottom line here, there will be a few showers and storms early between 3 and 6 p.m. This won't be the main event for severe weather, but we'll keep an eye and monitor these storms as they move in. Main severe threat after 6 p.m. through about 2 a.m. Wind and hail, main concerns for us here. A spin-up tornado, it's not zero chance, not much higher than that. I'd say best threat for that is going to be to our north and to our west. We'll talk more about your weekend and more on why we didn't see showers and storms today. It's in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
The president's latest plan for students.
Rounds and all the best parts of breakfast in a warm tortilla, you get the goodness of Hardee's homestyle breakfast burritos, available in 3 varieties. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
In consumer news, President Biden's latest plan to forgive student loan debt for nearly 300,000 more borrowers could wind up costing the taxpayers billions of dollars.
Well, Fox 17 News' Matt Galka breaks down the numbers. And by the way, you can weigh in on this issue. Just scan the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story and let us know what you think.
Too many Americans, especially young people, are saddled with unsustainable debts in exchange for a college degree.
President Joe Biden has tried to make canceling student loans a pillar of his time in office. The administration's latest announcement aims to cancel another $7.4 billion of debt, mostly through waiving high amounts of accrued interest. The Penn-Wharton budget model has the new plan, along with other previous debt forgiveness plans, costing taxpayers big over the next decade. All told, taxpayers could be on the hook for $559 billion for the next 10 years.
It's a big middle finger to working class folks who either paid off their student loans or didn't take them out in the first place.
Missouri Republican Senator Eric Schmidt sued the Biden administration over debt forgiveness in 2022 when he was his state's attorney general. The Supreme Court eventually stopped the president's last debt forgiveness effort. The White House says the new plan uses a different authority to get around the Supreme Court ruling.
It's unconstitutional. He has no authority under statute to do it. It was struck down before. I think this is a cynical election year ploy.
The $559 billion is equivalent to more than 6 years of the annual budget of the Department of Education. Even some Democrats admit canceling student loans doesn't get to the root cause of the high costs of education.
I think the intent is good, clearly, to provide relief of student debt. I think it's how you go about it that I think for many is troubling and needs more work.
If the plan is finalized, the canceled accrued interest will take effect this fall, right around election time. But the plan will almost certainly be taken to court. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Well, during that story, we had the QR code, as promised, posted and linked up to this poll asking, do you think President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is fair to taxpayers? 671 people weighing in on this, and most people say no. 81.5% say no, 18.5% say yes.
Just ahead on Fox 17 News at 9, personal privacy versus public safety. The latest on the fight to make the Covenant school shooters' writings public.
Protecting kids on social media is something just about everyone.
It belongs, not leaking into your home. Chim Chimney, honest, dependable, affordable.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
Continuing coverage on the battle to make the Covenant shooters' writings public. The latest court battle yielded no decision just yet. Several groups are suing Metro to make them public, while Covenant parents are fighting to keep this from happening. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin bringing us up to speed.
We heard about 10 hours of argument Tuesday and Wednesday with all sides making their case. With no decision made yet, the chancellor says she'll need some additional briefing, but doesn't take this decision lightly and knows the broad effect this decision will have in the state when it comes to the Tennessee Public Records Act.
Hours of debate on Wednesday coming to an end. First, the attorney for the Covenant parents spoke on 3 different arguments against the release of these writings. Eric Osborne believes the school safety and security exception to a Public Records Act applies to this case.
Even things not directly related to the physical building that is the Covenant School or Covenant Church would potentially inspire future individuals.
He also argues that victims have a right to be free of abuse, harassment, and intimidation. But the argument talked about the most, the copyright law. Osborne believes since the shooter's parents transferred ownership of their writings to the Covenant parents, they are now keepers of those writings.
Any future harm would be thwarted. And that's a continual fear that I think each and every Covenant family just has in the back of our mind. And so we lift it up to the Lord and ask for him to thwart those things.
But when petitioners had a chance for rebuttal, they argued copyright law does not apply to this case. The attorney representing the Tennessee Firearms Association believes if Metro has a copy of these writings, they are subject to public records requests and do not believe there is a copyright exception under the Tennessee Public Records Act.
From coast to coast, unfortunately, there's been so many of these shootings, including shootings specifically at schools, and there's always been a release of these sort of records.
The petitioners also feel the shooter's redacted writings wouldn't violate school safety and security exceptions, since they are not asking for security plans for the school.
There is a public expectation that those records will be released. And so now that creates a new situation where a lot of people are going to have a lot of problem with why are the records not being released.
They also argue Metro Police released video of the shooter inside the building, and there was no opposition to that release.
Throughout these hearings, the chancellor has said she does expect an appeal no matter what the decision is. Keep in mind, Metro Legal says the police department plans to conclude its investigation in July. Reporting in the studio, I'm Amanda Chen, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Covering the Capitol tonight, congressional lawmakers host another hearing on protecting children online. But as Fox 17 News' Atra El-Nashar explains, they are struggling to get anything done.
In 2021, Sam Chapman and his wife Laura thought one benefit of COVID lockdowns was that their kids were safe at home. Little did they know, a different kind of danger lurked in their 16-year-old son Sammy's phone.
A dealer reached out to our son on Snapchat and delivered a lethal dose of fentanyl to our home like it was a pizza after we were asleep. His little brother found him dead the next day on the floor.
Since then, Chapman is a full-time activist pushing for the passage of Sammy's Law, named for his son. It would require third-party safety apps on any social media or gaming platform accessible to kids so parents get alerts about dangerous activity. It's one of 10 laws aimed at protecting kids online that were in focus during a hearing Wednesday before the House Energy and Commerce Committee. For years, Democrats and Republicans in Congress have gone after social media companies for allegedly being reckless with child safety. Headline-making hearings, dozens of bills introduced, but no substantial protections have actually become law.
Here in Congress, it's hard to pass laws.
We can file bills, we can work on all of this, and as you hear, we all agree, but it still takes, the speaker to, at the end of the day, to get the bill to the floor.
This Congress has been called one of the most ineffective in history, and little is expected of lawmakers eager to hit the campaign trail. In fact, this week, the House may be taking some of its last major votes before November. Some of the leaders on this social media issue are not running for re-election. You're retiring after this Congress. Is this an issue that you're going to go out swinging, doing everything you can to get something passed into law?
Absolutely. It's long overdue, but it's just like we have to act.
The powerful tech lobby opposes much of the legislation and advocates for alternative policies that put more onus on parents to monitor their kids.
It's really a Sisyphean challenge for a bunch of parents to fight against these big interests. But when you lose a kid, there's nothing that's going to stop you. We are a political force in 2024, and I believe that the politicians are listening.
On Capitol Hill, I'm Atra El-Nashar reporting.
As we head into tomorrow night, we are looking at a code red weather alert, and always a great reminder for you to stay weather aware with multiple sources to get your weather information. So this is going to be one of your best ways to do so. You can download our free app on your phone. If you don't have it already, just scan the QR code there. It really is a great tool to have when we have storms around. Highs tomorrow, temperatures, it's going to be quite warm again in the mid 80s, really area wide. 86 here in Nashville, Murfreesboro around 85, as well as Clarksville. Low 80s out toward the Cumberland Plateau, and Columbia sitting at 85 as well. All this will be thanks in part to a partly cloudy sky early on, and then even going into the evening hours, looking at mainly dry conditions until we hit about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that becomes a little bit more widespread later in the evening. We shift our attention to the weekend. After a very warm Thursday, we'll cool down to the 70s for Friday, even more so as we head towards the weekend. Temperatures only in the middle to lower 60s. We'll look for a stray shower or two, but overall the big story for the weekend is going to be how cool it is compared to where we've been for much of this week. We'll talk more about our storm threat for tomorrow and why we didn't see very much activity today. It's coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Right now we have breaking news from West Tennessee, Memphis, Shelby County, involving that deadly officer-involved shooting that happened early last Friday morning. When officers approached a suspicious vehicle, they say someone inside the car fired at them. They returned fire. A 26-year-old police officer and an 18-year-old inside the car were killed. Tonight, the Shelby County DA says the officer who died was hit by friendly fire. We will have more on this story on our website, fox17.com.
Well, the Preds wrapping up the regular season on Monday, and now it's full speed ahead to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
That's right. Good to be in. The club's still waiting to find out who they will face in the first round. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick now with more on their potential opponents and how the guys are getting ready.
The Nashville Predators will find out their first-round playoff opponent in the next 48 hours, and we know it will either be the Dallas Stars or the Vancouver Canucks. If Dallas secures at least 1 point in their game tonight against the Blues, then the Preds will face Vancouver. Now, if Dallas does not secure a point tonight and Vancouver wins in any fashion on Thursday, then the Preds will face the Dallas Stars in their first-round playoff series. Arguably just as challenging as finding out their opponent is the time off in between. The Preds wrapped up the regular season on Monday and could see anywhere from 6 to 8 days of rest before their first playoff game. Head coach Andrew Brunette says they'll have some heavier practices throughout the week, but he also says that keeping his team both physically and mentally fit in that span is something that keeps him up at night.
You rely on your veteran guys and your veteran leadership to make sure we're ready. We have a lot of guys that have been through this many times. And the other part, it's good to get a little breather. We really intense down the stretch for us. Every game was like a playoff game since that last break we had on. So it's good to get recharged. But yeah, it keeps you up at night for sure.
After missing the playoffs last year, the Preds are now back in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the 9th time in 10 years. However, their last playoff win came in 2021. And getting through this first-round playoff series will easily be their biggest challenge they've faced.
You know, to win a game is one thing on its own. It's so challenging, you know, especially when teams are a little more fresh, you know, from the start of or just the end of the season compared to, you know, later on. You know, everyone's, you know, I find these first few games are always so physical, so hard hitting. Everyone's kind of running around, and it takes a while for kind of the games to kind of settle in.
It's a big accomplishment to make the playoffs. That's the goal. But then once you're in, we saw it in 2017. Once you win it for one round, you get some confidence. You win another round. So like anything can happen. So our goal is to win round one and then go on from there.
When it comes to the Dallas Stars and Vancouver Canucks, both teams were tough challenges for the Preds earlier in the season. Preds falling to Vancouver 3 times, all before the start of the new year. And then the last time the Preds faced the Dallas Stars, it was here at home where Dallas dominated the Predators 9-2, sparking the Preds' 18-game point streak. Players telling me that when it comes to facing either of these two teams, the positive is they haven't seen this new Preds team. They haven't played them in a while, and this is a completely different Predators team than what we saw at the start of the year. Reporting from Centennial Sportsplex, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Coming up, talking more about the storm threat for tomorrow and why we didn't see showers and storms for today.
Plus, on the record, a plan to keep juveniles convicted of serious crimes in Tennessee from buying
monthly payments with 0% interest for 84 months. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
In Operation Crime and Justice, a bill to keep juvenile offenders in Tennessee from buying guns well into adulthood is moving forward. The bill, sponsored by State Representative Ryan Williams of Cookeville, targets juveniles convicted of serious crimes. Right now, those records are sealed and don't count against the juveniles once they turn 18. Williams' bill would allow the TBI to use those records when doing background checks and reject gun purchases until age 25.
That individual would forfeit their rights as a part of that juvenile adjudication to be able to purchase a firearm until their frontal lobe is fully developed at 25.
As written, the bill would allow 19-year-olds, however, to ask the juvenile court to restore their gun rights. This bill's now headed to the Senate Finance Committee with a recommendation for passage.
Well, when it comes to winning the fight against cancer, your tongue can give you critical clues on what may be happening inside your body. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino explains how to read the health of your tongue.
It's a muscular organ that helps you swallow and speak, but your tongue can also reveal some telltale signs of health problems.
It's part of our observable areas that we can monitor for changes.
Dr. Gabriel Gavrilescu with the Cleveland Clinic, Florida, says monitoring your tongue is a simple way to spot potential issues, and it can be done quickly while you brush your teeth.
To make sure we notice changes, and if we do notice, to to see what they signify.
Significant changes in color could signify a problem. A whitish tongue could indicate a fungal infection, an inflammatory condition, or a potentially precancerous condition. A yellowish or greenish color tongue is usually due to poor oral hygiene and can come from smoking, chewing tobacco, being dehydrated, or taking certain vitamins. An orangish tongue is also commonly caused by poor oral hygiene or dry mouth, certain antibiotics, and some foods like carrots. A bright red tongue might indicate food or medication allergies or a vitamin B deficiency. A gray hue could indicate eczema, according to a 2017 study. And a black tongue could even mean there's a keratin buildup, which could lead to a thickening of the skin. And if you have a blue tongue, it might indicate a lack of oxygen in your blood, and a doctor should be called right away.
We have to be mindful about what we put in our body.
Dr. Gavrilescu says maintaining a healthy tongue color means eating a balanced diet, not using tobacco, drinking plenty of water, and visiting a dentist regularly. Kelly Avellino, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
We continue to monitor the potential for some strong thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow. Today, though, what we thought would be a day of strong thunderstorms turned out to be not much. And remember, yesterday I was talking about that we had several limitations that may hinder any development, and that's exactly what happened here. So we take a look at our radar, and you can see things still remain quiet for us. And again, that will be the case as we head through the overnight. No worries for severe thunderstorms this evening. So what could have happened today? Strong thunderstorms with wind and hail. Yesterday I mentioned that the surface low really played a role in whether or not we'd get some of those strong thunderstorms to develop. It's just too far north for tonight, and that is one of the reasons why we didn't see as much activity today, and really not much at all. We also didn't have a trigger for these storms. A trigger would be something to create these storms to lift, or to create these air parcels to lift, create thunderstorm clouds, and eventually create those thunderstorms. That would be in the form of a front usually, and we did not have that this afternoon. So we had the ingredients there, we just had nothing to trigger those storms. Tomorrow is a different story. So we're looking at a snapshot tomorrow night around 8 o'clock. And I've highlighted the front here that's going to be passing through. That is our trigger that'll be moving across the area. So again, that front that'll be working its way through will bring us a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. In addition to that, tomorrow we also have a decent amount of energy or instability that'll be around too. So this is our storm energy for tomorrow morning. We're going to walk you through the afternoon hours. Typically through the day, we tend to destabilize, or we have more instability thanks to the daytime heating of the afternoon hours. And notice by 2 o'clock here, we're looking at some pretty decent instability. Of course, those brighter numbers indicate more instability or more energy. Here's 7 p.m. At this point, storms will be entering our northwestern counties, and you can quickly see how that energy is eaten up. That's because the line of thunderstorms will be pushing through at that point. So we are working with some decent instability or energy ahead of that line. And as the line moves in, it's going to gobble up that energy. So as we head towards 11, 12, midnight, we'll start to see it all clear out before we get into the overnight hours and the atmosphere can recover a little bit. So overall, I would still say we're looking at wind and hail as the primary threats for tomorrow. The tornado threat, it's not zero, it's not much higher than that. But as always, with these types of setups, it's possible a spin-up tornado could be around. I would say that'll be mainly west of 65 and more so north and west in our southern Kentucky counties, and probably maybe the Clarksville area, Hopkinsville area, Henry County, and Paris area as well. Temperatures go from the mid-80s Thursday to the 60s as we head toward.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Well, looking ahead, we're now 100 days away from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. The Olympic torch lit yesterday in Olympia, Greece, the birthplace of the ancient games. This kicks off its relay journey to Paris. The games set to begin July 26th and last through August 11th. More than 10,000 athletes from over 200 countries are expected to compete. At least 32 sports are on the Olympic program, including wrestling, swimming, and gymnastics.
Going to be fun. We're pulling for Team USA. Let's take a look now at the path the Olympic torch will take on its way to Paris. As Megan mentioned, it left Olympia today. That's down here in Greece. Now, over the next several weeks, until May the 8th, actually, the torch is going to be making its way across Greece. Then it'll be making its way into the Mediterranean Sea, right on the top of Sardinia there, on the way to Marseille in France. And once it gets there, it's on foot with different people carrying the torch all the way up to the port city of Brest, and then on over to Paris for the start of the Olympic Games. And again, we're looking for Team USA to do well, and it'll be here on the 26th of July, just in time for the opening ceremony.
Up next, a major recall involving Ford vehicles. See what the issue is and if your vehicle is involved.
Huge savings on the hottest deals. 4K TVs, computers, appliances, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Don't miss out. Sale ends Sunday at 7 p.m. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Fox 17 News recall alert right now involving some popular Ford models.
Well, the car maker is recalling over 450,000 Bronco, Sport, and Maverick vehicles due to a battery detection issue that could lead to crashes. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says that a low battery can cause a surprise loss of power. A Ford spokesperson says that safety is a top priority and they are taking proactive steps to address the issue. For a list of specific years in this recall, go to our website, fox17.com.
Another top university president in the hot seat on Capitol Hill over anti-Semitism. I'm Kayla Gaskins with that story straight ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
In our Code Red alert, tracking the potential for some strong thunderstorms as we head into about this time tomorrow night. The radar should be pretty active as we take a look at our timing, mainly after 6 p.m. tomorrow through about 2 a.m. Coming in from the northwest to the southeast. Threats include hail and wind. Tornado threats not zero. It's not much higher than that, but it will be, again, something we will be keeping an eye on. We're sort of on the edge of this larger threat, which is going to be to our north and west. But the level 3 threat does include folks in Hopkinsville, Clarksville, over to Paris, Dover. These are all areas that we will keep an eye on closely as we head through the early evening hours. And then as that line continues to march through Middle Tennessee, I'd expect it to weaken. As we take a look, things are quiet now on Broadway. Our temperature hovering right around 71 degrees, keeping skies clear through the evening tonight. And really tomorrow morning should be a-okay. It won't be until the later part of the day, later half of the day, that we're starting to see thunderstorms perk up. Right now, radar pictures quiet for us too. Temperatures stay mild through the overnight. We're right around 60 here in Nashville. We'll talk more about the storm threats and timing. Most importantly, that coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. New tonight, more than 100 people gathered at the state capitol today to protest the Republican supermajority, which is in control of both houses. Among other things, they're upset over a bill, one vote away from passage, that would allow Tennessee teachers to carry guns at school.
But that vote didn't happen. GOP leaders canceled tonight's House session when the Finance Committee meeting ran long. House leadership gavelled in and then gavelled out, ending that meeting.
Now, it was a surprise to just about everybody. State Representative Tory Harris of Memphis says he's only seen it happen a couple times in the last few years. Harris likes the protest outside, though, and the people making their voices heard.
Representation actually does matter, and people coming out and advocating for what they care about and what they need and what they want is always going to be important. I'm always going to support that. That's how I got here. So.
House will be back in session tomorrow morning.
Well, in the high cost of homelessness, a new law going into effect this July will give more protection to property owners dealing with squatters at their home or vacant building. Currently, it can take up to 2 years to remove an illegal squatter in Tennessee. But after a House bill passed earlier this week, the sheriff's office can soon expedite the removal process just within 72 hours. Right now, property owners must begin a judicial eviction when they encounter squatters in their home.
Let's say you suddenly have an abandoned property or rental property or your own home. They enter your property, change the locks. You try to get them out. The sheriff, they then claim that you leased it to them. They own it now. The sheriff can't make that, or the police can't make that decision there at the house. So it becomes a civil matter where you have to take them to court. Well, it could literally take months
State Rep Tim Rudd says the bill will now remove a lot of the burden from those property owners, allowing law enforcement to step in and restore possession. All right, what do you think? Earlier in our newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running right now, asking the question, are you satisfied with Tennessee's plan to crack down on squatters? 238 people weighing in tonight, 76.5% say yes, 23.5% say no. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police charge a Nashville man with the murder of a toddler. 25-year-old Keith Swanson right now charged with killing a 22-month-old girl who police say was in the legal care of his girlfriend. Police say the child was taken to Vanderbilt Medical Center for treatment of her injuries, but doctors couldn't save her. The autopsy shows the child suffered blunt force trauma to the head.
Continuing Operation Crime and Justice, the next hearing date has been set after Zachary Adams asked for a retrial of a murder case that he was convicted in. Zachary Adams, found guilty in 2017 of kidnapping, raping, and murdering nursing student Holly Bobo. The case gained national attention when Bobo disappeared from her home in Parsons back in 2011. The current trial will decide whether or not to unseal exhibits surrounding the original case. The next hearing is set for June 14th.
Continuing coverage now is a bill that would allow the records of juveniles convicted of serious crimes in Tennessee to follow them into adulthood is moving forward. The measure, sponsored by State Representative Ryan Williams of Cookeville, would keep those former juvie offenders from buying guns in Tennessee until they're 25. Right now, all juvenile records are sealed. They don't show up on gun background checks. And in our state, if you're 18, you can legally buy a gun and carry it.
This is good common sense guide rails to the juvenile delinquency problem that we're facing across the state.
And there is an out for those who've turned their lives around. After they turn 19, former juvie offenders can ask the juvenile court to restore their gun rights.
New tonight, investigators now say the 26-year-old Memphis police officer killed in the deadly officer-involved shootout last Friday was apparently killed by friendly fire. When officers approached a suspicious vehicle, someone inside fired at them. Officers fired back. Officer Joseph McKinney was killed in the incident, as well as an 18-year-old inside the vehicle. Tonight, the Shelby County DA says the officer who was killed was hit by gunfire from another officer and not from the teens involved in that shootout.
Making headlines tonight, the historic impeachment of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is over after the Senate votes to end the trial against him this afternoon. Mayorkas is the first cabinet secretary to be impeached in nearly 150 years. Democratic lawmakers call the entire process a political stunt organized by the GOP. Republican members say they were holding Mayorkas accountable for the crisis at our southern border, and several constitutional experts say the evidence against Mayorkas did not reach the bar of high crimes and misdemeanors.
Another top university president in the hot seat on Capitol Hill over anti-Semitism. I'm Kayla Gaskins with that story straight ahead.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover. There are many couples who spend months and thousands of dollars planning out their weddings. It's elaborate, but it's care and stay safe.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
Covering the Capitol tonight, Columbia University leaders responding to rising concerns about anti-Semitism on the school's campus.
But as Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins shows us, unlike some former colleagues, the president at Columbia is not mincing words.
It was the president of Columbia University's turn to sit in the hot seat on Capitol Hill.
Columbia strives to be a community free of discrimination and hate.
Answering concerns regarding reports of rising anti-Semitism on campus following Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel.
The anti-Semitism on our campus makes me sick to my stomach. And we are taking steps to address it.
Columbia, the center of several viral videos depicting alleged anti-Semitism. Columbia's leadership team attempting to avoid the fate of Harvard and UPenn, whose presidents lost their positions following a similar hearing in December, where they were seen to sidestep a question about campus protesters chanting Intifada, which critics say is a direct call for the genocide of Jews.
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context.
Clearer answers were given Wednesday.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Columbia's code of conduct? Dr. Shafiq.
Yes, it does.
MIT's president sat for the same December hearing as Harvard and UPenn, but managed to keep her position. We spoke with MIT grad student Talia Khan.
It's a much deeper problem than just getting rid of the president. And we've seen that at Harvard and Penn in the past few months. Even though the president's gone, the climate hasn't shifted so dramatically.
Meanwhile, the University of Southern California canceling their valedictorian speech, citing safety concerns. The Muslim student says she's being silenced by anti-Palestinian hatred. Jewish students at USC say she supports the abolishment of Israel.
The abolishment of the state of Israel, I'd like to clarify, is the abolishment of an apartheid system.
The Anti-Defamation League and the FBI reported historic levels of anti-Semitism since October 7th. The ADL says that spike shows no signs of slowing. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting.
Well, looking ahead, we're now 100 days away from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. The Olympic torch lit yesterday in Olympia, Greece, the birthplace of the ancient games. This kicks off its relay journey to Paris. The games are set to begin July 26th and last through August 11th. More than 10,000 athletes from over 200 countries are expected to compete. At least 32 sports are on the Olympic program, from wrestling and swimming to gymnastics.
All right, the games ought to be great. Let's take a look at the path the torch will take on its way to Paris for those games. From now until May the 8th, we just mentioned it's down in Olympia. So from now until May the 8th, it'll be slowly making its way across that country. And from there, we're going to jump across the Mediterranean Sea all the way to Marseille, there on the south of France. From there, they will have different athletes running it up here to the big port city of Brest, and then over the countryside to Paris, where it will arrive just in time for the opening ceremony on July the 26th.
I'm Janae Bones in Washington with a look at what LinkedIn is doing to protect you from job scammers.
And coming up, walking you through
PR financing as low as 2.25% or a great low lease.
Toyota, let's go places.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Breaking news tonight, Interstate 24 eastbound, still in Davidson County, but this is north, headed up toward Clarksville, is currently shut down at mile marker 44. That's just about a mile or so this side of Highway 49, which is the Pleasant View Springfield exit. You see the reason there. There's an overturned tractor trailer there, all kinds of law enforcement folks there. We're told the eastbound lanes again are blocked off. The ramp is closed as well as the right shoulder. Stay tuned. It looks like this one could be here for a while. Fox 17 scam alert to warn you about now. This one targets job seekers who use LinkedIn.
Well, Fox 17 News' Janae Bowens takes a look at how scammers are targeting people using the site and how you can protect yourself.
Kira Momini told her followers she was desperate for work, so she didn't think it was strange when who she thought was a job recruiter asked her for a background check before an interview.
I literally have been applying for jobs. I got my identity stolen through a LinkedIn ad.
Of course, Momini never got that job interview. And LinkedIn admits scams are a problem for the platform.
So now they have my social, my driver's license, my face scan. My bank called me and I had like $2,000 taken out of it. That was marked for fraud.
The Better Business Bureau estimates 14 million people are exposed to employment scams every year, costing folks $2 billion. Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, they are beefing up security.
Now, a recruiter can actually become verified on LinkedIn. There's a little gray badge right next to their name, and it says right under their name, verified recruiter.
But with artificial intelligence helping scammers make job ads look more authentic, Job seekers must be vigilant.
You should never give someone who is saying that they're a recruiter information like your social security number or give them information like your bank account information.
So you don't end up like Momini.
Be careful out there. I just kind of want to spread this. Make sure people can hear my story to hopefully it doesn't happen to them.
Experts say you should make sure a recruiter's email address matches up with the company they say they work for. Also look for typos and messages, and be suspicious if you only talk to one person during the interview process. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
As we head into tomorrow night, we'll be tracking the potential for a few strong to severe thunderstorms. This one will be along a cold front, so already looking more likely than today of seeing these storms pop up. Things are quiet for tonight. We do not expect any thunderstorms for this evening here, but we take a look at tomorrow's threats. Basically between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m., we'll see the potential at least for a few strong to severe storms. Wind will be the primary concern along with some hail. Tornadoes can't be ruled out, but I would say that's a higher threat to our north and to our west. As the line marches into Middle Tennessee, it'll be more of a wind threat. Here's a look at our outlook for tomorrow, and you can see we're right on the edge of where the stronger threat is. But for folks in Clarksville, Hopkinsville, and Paris, we are looking at a level 3 of 5. So expecting that line to weaken as it moves into Middle Tennessee. That's what I want you to take home from tonight, or for tonight, is the fact that as it marches east, the storms will likely begin to weaken. Still, it's something that we'll be monitoring this time tomorrow night and going into the early morning hours. You want to have ways to stay alert. Temperatures throughout the day are going to be warm, or will be warm again as we reach the mid-80s for the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine expected all the way through the day. As we take a look though at a future track, you can see a few clouds for the morning hours. Otherwise, that mostly sunny sky will be with us. 2-3 p.m. still quiet. What's interesting is over the past few model runs, we've started to see more activity ahead of the main line. The question will be, how widespread will this activity be? If it is widespread, it could help limit our severe capabilities later in the night. For now, I'm still expecting some stronger storms, especially in our northwestern counties for tomorrow evening. But showers will be possible as early as 3 to 6 p.m. These will generally be non-severe, but we'll keep an eye on a couple of these that may actually produce some hail within some of these storms. But that main line doesn't arrive until later in the evening, so 7, 8, 9 p.m. here. Looking pretty active as we head through even tomorrow evening's newscast. Watch what happens as we head a little bit later in the evening. I'd say after 10 p.m. we start to see those showers and storms weaken just a little bit. Again, I would say wind at best will be the main threat by this point, and we'll be seeing the potential for some heavy rain and frequent lightning. By Friday morning, we dry out. We'll start off with a mostly cloudy sky, but a better chance of drying out as we head into the afternoon. So the bottom line, we could see a few showers and storms as early as 3 to 6. The main severe line will not arrive until after 6 p.m. through about midnight, 1, 2 a.m. out for folks near the Cumberland Plateau. Hail and wind are the primary threats here. Spin-up tornado mainly to our north and to our west. Temperatures tonight stay around 60 with a mostly clear sky. Tomorrow, looking at those thunderstorms to pop up late. And a look at your 7-day forecast, we drop from 85 to the low 60s going into the weekend. But the good news is it looks like we're drying out, and next week looking mainly dry as well.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A satellite captured infrared images of a volcano erupting in Indonesia. Hundreds of people have been evacuated. Folks in western New York woke up to a gorgeous purple and pink sky, while folks near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina witnessed this beautiful morning view. And 2 bear cubs are having a great time on a North Carolina trampoline. Mama's relaxing by a nearby tree.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
You can see more weather stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk starting at 8 a.m.
With 2 years no-cost maintenance.
This is what it's all about.
Toyota, let's go places.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Predators.
Well,
Well, the Preds wrapping up the regular season on Monday, and now it's full speed ahead to the Stanley Cup playoff.
This is the good stuff. Now, at this point, the guys still don't know who they will play. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick now with more on their possible opponents and how the Preds are getting ready.
The Nashville Predators will find out their first-round playoff opponent in the next 48 hours, and we know it will either be the Dallas Stars or the Vancouver Canucks. If Dallas secures at least 1 point in their game tonight against the Blues, then the Preds will face Vancouver. Now, if Dallas does not secure a point tonight and Vancouver wins in any fashion on Thursday, then the Preds will face the Dallas Stars in their first-round playoff series. Arguably just as challenging as finding out their opponent is the time off in between. The Preds wrapped up the regular season on Monday and could see anywhere from 6 to 8 days of rest before their first playoff game. Head coach Andrew Burnett says they'll have some heavier practices throughout the week, but he also says that keeping his team both physically and mentally fit in that span is something that keeps them up at night.
You rely on your veteran guys and your veteran leadership to make sure we're ready. We have a lot of guys who've been through this many times. And the other part's good to get a little breather. We really intense down the stretch for us. Every game was like a playoff game since that last break we had on. So it's good to get recharged. But yeah, it keeps you up at night for sure.
After missing the playoffs last year, the Preds are now back in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the 9th time in 10 years. However, their last playoff win came in 2021. And getting through this first-round playoff series will easily be their biggest challenge they've faced.
You know, to win a game is one thing on its own. It's so challenging, you know, especially when teams are a little more fresh, you know, from the start of or just the end of the season compared to, you know, later on. You know, everyone's, you know, I find these first few games are always so physical, so hard hitting. Everyone's kind of running around, and it takes a while for kind of the games to kind of settle in.
It's a big accomplishment to make the playoffs. That's the goal. But then once you're in, we saw it in 2017. Once you win it for one round, you get some confidence. You win another round. So like anything can happen. So our goal is to win round one and then go on from there.
When it comes to the Dallas Stars and Vancouver Canucks, both teams were tough challenges for the Preds earlier in the season. Preds falling to Vancouver 3 times, all before the start of the new year. And then the last time the Preds faced the Dallas Stars, it was here at home where Dallas dominated the Predators 9-2, sparking the Preds' 18-game point streak. Players telling me that when it comes to facing either of these two teams, the positive is they haven't seen this new Preds team. They haven't played them in a while, and this is a completely different Predators team than what we saw at the start of the year. Reporting from Centennial Sportsplex, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
A breakthrough for those living with diabetes. I'm Liz Bonas. The latest research on inhaled insulin could be life-changing. It is just
called F-150. Now get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a 2023 F-150. Only at your local Ford dealer.
In health news tonight, a new way to deliver insulin could help people living with diabetes avoid painful injections.
Well, Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonas tonight with a look at insulin inhalers.
Hey there, hello to you. James Jones now uses this inhaled insulin. He has type 1 diabetes and says it's been life-changing.
Now I eat however I want, so that's the biggest change. I'm not like afraid to take it or know that it's going to hurt because it's really painless and super convenient to take.
You just saw how convenient. James is a college freshman. We caught up with him heading to class with his Lego project. He's majoring in aerospace engineering at Ohio's University of Cincinnati. He says while on campus, his Afrezza inhalation powder, as it's officially called, is perfect. Afrezza provided these images.
You can fit it in your pocket, carry it around just like the shots. Actually, it takes up less space than the shots, so I really don't see a downside.
From 7, a continuous glucose monitor connected to his phone shows blood sugar numbers throughout the day are well controlled with this inhaled insulin. That's something endocrinologist Dr. Harold Pretorius told me is true for most patients when dosed properly.
The insulin is absorbed through the lungs into the bloodstream. And so the advantage of that is more rapid absorption.
That absorption is not harmful to your lungs.
This is a spirometer, which is a convenient handheld device that checks the lung function.
Doctors check your lungs every 6 months to be sure. And compared to insulin injections,
it dissipates more rapidly also. So that avoids, to a certain extent, the #1 complication of insulin administration, which is hypoglycemia.
James has noticed this kind of control. His average blood sugar number, also called the hemoglobin A1C, now within normal ranges.
When I started Afrezza, it was 6.8, and then 3 months later, it was a 5.7.
Something critical for a healthy diabetes future, and what is likely going to be a healthy Lego building engineering success. Couple important notes. You may need prior authorization for insurance coverage of this inhaled insulin, but it is now available to those on Medicare with the new mandatory lower cost requirements of no more than $35 for insulin expense. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Well, right now, this inhaled insulin is approved for anybody 18 or older. Clinical trials are now testing its use in children. Inhaled insulin is approved in both type 1 and type 2 diabetes cases and in combination with other diabetes medications.
All right, big day tomorrow, especially in the evening hours, maybe even affecting that commute home.
Yeah, we're going to be tracking some showers and storms as early as 3 to 6, but main line coming in after that, and we'll be pushing through Middle Tennessee. Biggest threat will be to the north and west. Wind and hail, the primary concerns there. Will all clear out after midnight and leaving us with a cooler weekend. In fact, temperatures struggle